A very good morning to all our viewers and welcome to yet another edition of Newsline on the 23rd of September 2015. I'm Stephanie Lazarus and I'm joined by former diplomat Bandulajaya Sekara and Arun Thamimuthu, the SLFP organizer for Batticlaw. A very good morning to you. You're
morning,
both clothed
Stephanie.
in your national attire today.
And you're very casual.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes.
Let's start
What
the
have you
program.
got?
Yeah, because first of all, Arun, vanakkam.
Vanakkam, Aibon,
Yeah.
and
So
hello.
yeah, now I must tell the viewers, if you don't know about Arun. Arun is the SLFP organizer for Batticlaw, but there is a story about Arun. Arun's parents, like Arun's father, was Sam Thamimuthu, who was a former member of parliament for Batticlaw, and mother Kala Thamimuthu. Both of them were shot by the LTT and killed in front of the Canadian embassy. That was in 1990. And then Arun was kidnapped and also was shot by the LTT when you were only
13.
Right. Tell me now, I think our viewers should know more about you, Arun. Now, who kidnapped you?
Karuna.
Yeah, but now it was so interesting. Okay, Karuna kidnapped you when you were 14 years.
13 years ago.
13 years of age, and you were shot. And after that, you all started doing politics in Batticlaw. Did Karuna ever apologize to you?
No, he didn't. He in fact blamed what happened to my father and my mother on Prabhakaran. He was trying to sort of absolve all responsibility, even though he was the supreme LTT commander for the Eastern Province.
Did you ask for an apology from him?
I didn't particularly because...
Why not?
Well, I didn't expect it from him, and secondly, I thought reconciliation just means that we'll just leave the past and move on.
Yeah, but Arun, again, reconciliation means saying sorry, right?
Yes,
And he refused to say sorry. He became vice president of the SLFP, he became a minister, but he and you all started doing politics in Batticlaw. You were SLFP organizer, but he didn't say sorry to you.
Well, his problem, in fact, he weren't able to live up to his past, and he weren't able to deal with his past. And we can see where he is today. So I think...
Where is he today? Can you tell me?
No, I don't know, actually. I wonder where he is. He's not in Batticlaw and not in SLFP anyway.
I mean, is he under threat today?
No, I don't think so. I mean, the wonderful thing is that thanks to the end of the war, he is safe.
Yeah.
Otherwise, whether he is safe or not, we all are safe. Likes of him. Thanks to the fact that LTT were defeated.
But Arun, how come now you are the SLFP organizer for Batticlaw, but you didn't get nomination, but instead Pillayan got nomination and he lost. How many votes did he get? 12,000.
About 12,000 votes.
But what happened to you?
Well, that is UPFA politics. Unfortunately, I cannot comment on it. But however, I'm still the SLFP organizer. I'm still continuing with the SLFP. The nomination or not, I thought that was, well, short-sighted of the UPFA to nominate Pillayan and leave people like myself. But however, I joined SLFP, a national political party. My background is from my parents belong to the TULF. But I felt when I came and joined the SLFP that the Tamils should embrace national politics, and I did. And I'm here to stay. And
why did the LTT kill your parents?
Well, my father was very critical of them. LTT's human rights violations were exposed by my father. And LTT never tolerated anyone who opposed them, especially a Tamil and elected by the people. Opposing the LTT was not something they were able to deal with. And what more, any Tamil who spoke against them were given a tag of a traitor.
But have you forgiven the LTT and Karuna, all these people? Have you forgiven?
Well, look, it's not about forgiven. I
know it's difficult to forget, but yeah.
I have, in a way that I worked with them. When Karuna came to the democratic mainstream, I also didn't oppose that. But look, no one can wash away what the LTT did against the Tamils, the Sinhalese, the Muslims. People sometimes forget all the atrocities that they have committed since 1983.
Now, I think you must be very happy these days because your uncle is the leader of opposition. Have you congratulated him? Did you meet him?
Yeah, Mr. Sambandhan, of course, is a cousin of my mother's, and yes, he's an uncle of mine.
Yeah.
Look, I think it's good to see that they are, especially the signs coming from the TNA, is that they are accepting the new realities and they want to move forward. But you see, the TNA should, for me, there are three core principles. That is, Tamils are a national race, Tamils are a separate nation, and the right to self-determination. Those three core principles they have to move away from. If they do not, I don't think that whoever is in power, today President Sirisena and Prime Minister Wickremesinghe have a very progressive outlook.
And also, Arun, but your uncle, Mr. Samband, the leader of opposition, I thought he also has reached out to President Maithripala Sirisena. I mean, it looks like they get along very well.
Look, now you take the signs coming from the likes of the Chief Minister, Mr. Vigneswaran, it's somewhat concerning. He wants an international investigation.
But also, Arun, sorry to interrupt, but again, when Vigneswaran he got into politics, mainstream politics, as a former judge, there are lots of hopes, but what's this friction in the TNA now?
He should if anyone should know about the Sri Lanka's the legal system, it should be him, and he should be defending it. Instead, he wants an international investigation. He wants, I think probably he would prefer a hybrid court with international judges, international lawyers and investigators. However, he came from the whole, the Sri Lankan legal system, and I mean, one really wonders. But however, I don't think a lot about Mr. Vigneswaran's politics. He infamously claimed Mr. Prabhakaran was a hero. As opposed to, for me, Prabhakaran is responsible for the death of many people, and I regard him as a terrorist.
But there is a friction in the TNA now. There is a problem.
Likes of Mr. Sumantran and leader of the opposition, Mr. Sambandhan, also have now taken, it seems that they have, they have taken a very progressive attitude. I welcome that. However, they should know they cannot continue to play politics. If they do, I don't think that they will have favorable conditions.
But Arun, how is your uncle and the leader of opposition? I want to emphasize this.
The uncle part.
Yeah, uncle part. That settling down as the leader of opposition.
Well, look, this is nothing new. In 1977, Mr. Appapale Amrithalingam became a leader of the opposition, a Tamil, from TULF, and now, of course, the TNA has become the main opposition party. For me, there are several criticism in TNA becoming, Mr. Sambandhan becoming the leader of the opposition. I, for one, believe that...
But they are the third largest party.
Absolutely right.
And so I thought he deserves that.
Absolutely right. And I believe that when UPFA and the UNP has formed a national government...
to me it's a coalition, not a national government.
Well, they claim a national government, a coalition, I think
politicians can claim many things.
More appropriate. A coalition government, then the party that has got the third highest number of
seats. But he seems to be acting in a responsible manner. This is what I see as the leader of opposition.
Look, verdict is, for me, I would wait. Give more time. And for me, the acid test is where the TNA will give up the three core principles, which I mentioned earlier, without which we cannot move forward. I, as a Tamil, believe that every community in Sri Lanka should live together, and I do not believe constitutionally Sri Lanka has many problems. Implementation issues are there. Now, as a Sinhalese, if you come to Batiklo and want to get something done in Batiklo, the administrative kacheri, you will find that it will be difficult because you wouldn't find many Sinhala-speaking officials there. Likewise, the Tamils also will have problems in certain districts.
But Arun,
however, there is an implementation problem.
But Arun, which hurts me is that this is Sri Lanka. I like to go as Sri Lankans. You can say Sri Lankan Sinhalese, Sri Lankan Tamils, Sri Lankan Malays, Sri Lankan Burghers. But why are we all divided? The Indians don't say that. When you go abroad, say I'm an Indian. This is the biggest problem,
now,
we see.
Having lived abroad, when I was living abroad, my Sri Lankanness came to the fore. And I strongly believe that Sri Lanka is we are such a progressive country. I am not saying that our history doesn't have issues, but look, unfortunately, many people are still hostage to history.
Yeah, but now take Singapore. They'll always say, I'm a Singaporean.
Yes.
They wouldn't say, I'm Tamil or Chinese.
Look, I'm very comfortable being a Tamil and a Sri Lankan.
Yeah.
So answer to your question is, now, I think we need more people to embrace their Sri Lankanness and accept that there is diversity. And I think we can come forward. So the problem is, politics has played an unfortunate spoiling role in the ethnic sort of relationship in Sri Lanka.
But where's the normal common people? They get along very well.
Yes, absolutely. And the common people have been sometimes instigated by politicians for their own ends.
But yeah, Arun, but I want to ask you, Nadi, because when I told some people that, you know, you come in joining our program, lots of people from Batiklo, innocent Sri Lankan Tamils, they said the politicians have absolutely done nothing. There was Karuna, there's Pillan, you had power in the previous government, but they have done nothing for the ordinary people. Why are they suffering, the ordinary Tamil people?
Well, on my case, you know, I didn't have powers. I was an
but you were SLP organizer, but you were a presidential, you advised all.
Advice. I advised. Unfortunately, had my advices were taken properly, I think there would, a lot of things would have been different.
Yeah.
However, the problem was that the previous government did not realize that by embracing the likes of Pillan and Karuna, they were alienating the Tamil people.
And they continue to harass the ordinary people in Batiklo.
Yes, fair enough. And that was, and Tamil people did not always vote for TNA out of sheer conviction. They didn't see alternatives. Now you see.
Yeah, now you said you came to Sri Lanka, you didn't want to join a communal party, you want to join a national party and national politics. But one of the national parties, SLFP, failed to help the ordinary Tamil people.
This is the challenge that we have. Now within SLFP, as I said, look, getting a nomination was hard enough and we found politics played a part.
Yeah.
But I continue to embrace SLFP and I continue to embrace national politics. And I think, look, you cannot undo things that have been done for nearly 4 or 5 decades.
Didn't the TNA invite you to join them?
Or
the UNP?
I had opportunities and I refrained because 2 things I strongly believed. One, I should continue my politics through a national political party. And secondly, I didn't believe in jumping from one political party to the other. Like a monkey jumping from a branch to a branch.
Yeah. Don't insult the monkeys, Arun, because I think monkeys are better than the politicians, you know, in Sri Lanka.
But anyhow, I felt that I believed in the conviction. I believed in most things within SLFP. There are things that I disagreed, which I would try to change from within.
Yeah.
However, I do believe, Bandula, that it's a long road.
Yeah.
And when you embrace politics like mine, it takes time. And but I'm still strongly believe that we have a long future, and Sri Lanka will overcome this, such a unfortunate history we've had for the last 4 or 5 decades.
Yeah. Arun, are you more based in Colombo or in Batiklo?
I live in Batiklo.
Where in Batiklo?
Batiklo town. Unfortunately, my house is, I still haven't. In fact, 25 years on, I still couldn't go back to the house that I grew up. The house was taken over by the army and handed over to Pillan.
So is Pillan staying in your house by force?
He's staying by force, and in fact,
have you asked what? Have you?
I have made attempts to.
For how long?
For the last
when did you return to Sri Lanka?
For 5 years. Unfortunately, that he was supported, had a very strong support from the previous government. And
then Pillan is not giving your ancestral house
back, and I'm going to go to the Supreme Court.
Yeah, but you said the previous government supported Pillan, and but you were, this is a crazy thing.
I didn't want to. I came for politics.
Yeah, but when you were the SLP organizer, your ancestral home is taken by force by Pillan, and you don't have a house.
Absolutely, and what I didn't want to do is to use my personal home, which is a personal matter, for political. I didn't want
but
to
you
mix
said
them.
The previous government supported Pillan and not giving you a house.
Yes.
But who? But you were a presidential advisor. Didn't you speak to President Mahinda Rajapaksa?
I have spoken to President Mahinda Rajapaksa. Unfortunately, I've spoken to him, but I didn't want to ask as a favor. I felt...
No, this is your house. This is what lots of people are asking today. Give you my places
Absolutely right. And this is, look, now you can see someone like myself couldn't get my house back.
And what about lots of ordinary people?
What an ordinary person's chance.
So what are you going to do now to get your house back?
I will go. I will take the legal remedy, and I think I will go, if needs, I'll go to the Supreme Court to get my house back.
How long do you think it will take?
Well, you know, the legal course should take, but I'm very confident. As soon as possible, I'll go back to my ancestors.
But again, Arun, we are talking of reconciliation, reaching out. So why can't you settle this with Billy and say, give me my house back? This is my ancestral house. I'm sad, you know, Arun, because both your parents were killed, right, in front of the Canadian High Commission, and then you were shot, you were kidnapped, you went through hardships, but you can't get your house back.
No, you know, as I said, reconciliation with Pillayan, and I do not need to sort of beg him to give my house back. In fact, unfortunately, the way the politics were run during the past 5 years has played a part on it. But really, let's move on from my house. But what I must say is that
it's important because we are taking this as an example. If you don't have a house, the other SLP organizer, lots of other people are also suffering. So
this is what we hope. This is what we. I mean, look.
So okay, now you say you think there is hope. Have you appealed to President Sirisena, because this is important?
I will appeal to President Sirisena, and I expect to sort of speak to him. But I think, beyond President Sirisena, I do think that our legal system is now more sound. And I'm very hopeful that we will be able to get.
You will not be internally displaced, so you will have your ancestral home
back. Yes.
Now let's talk of Geneva.
Yes.
We have been to Geneva together. How do you see Geneva then and now? You think this current government is handling it differently, and whether they are reaching out more to the international community? How do you see that?
Well, to start with, if I look back what happened, there are a number of things I must say. First, the government of Sri Lanka was right in continuing the war and finishing the LTT off. Otherwise, today we'll still face the menace. The Western governments, we know that the French and the British foreign ministers came here to stop the war.
Yes.
I think they were wrong. I think the West was wrong in trying to save the LTT's leadership, especially Prabhakaran and infamous Pottu Amman. So let's face that. So Sri Lanka was right to continue with the war, and however, I have mentioned this previously. I even mentioned to previous Foreign Minister Professor Pires that Sri Lanka should defend its case.
But did Professor Pires defend his case well, or did he lecture the international community?
Unfortunately, I always thought that they did not defend it soundly. We can take many instances. Now you take the Channel 4 alleged that the war was without witnesses, but we know that the ICRC was present till February that year.
And also, I think I remember the Hindu journalist Muralidharan who was there. He was there, and there were other journalists.
An example. Likewise, remember that if you remember, Robert Blake once inquired the government of Sri Lanka that our intelligence services has assassinated an LTT sympathizer. But lately, Ireland reported in 2014 the same person whom they alleged to have, who was alleged to have been assassinated by the intelligence services, has been found. Now, Sri Lanka should demand the Western countries. Now, let's start exchanging details about people who have taken on new identities.
But
now, you remember
go ahead.
The JVP leader in Australia, who was given a different name.
Kumar
Gunaratnam was given a different name. So likewise, Sri Lanka has a case. Sri Lanka didn't defend its case, and I think today Sri Lanka, the problem was that West didn't take Sri Lanka's refusal to end the war.
But it looks like, Arun, the present government is reaching out. They seem to be open. Are they doing it right or doing it better?
No, the present government is right to reach out, and I think I commend that the approach. But look, even today, I think the Sri Lanka's High Commissioner for
the permanent representative
Ravinath Arya Singh has stated that look, the attitude hasn't changed, because look, the hybrid court with international judges, jurists and investigators, would it be compatible with Sri Lanka's legal framework. And look, my view is that no. From the beginning, I felt that there was no need to have unnecessary sort of postmortems. Having said that, I don't think Sri Lanka should be fearful of any coming out and defending its case.
But are we defending it right?
This is the million-dollar question. Sri Lanka should. Now, up until now, the approach has been very optimistic. I'm optimistic.
Yes.
However, Sri Lanka, whether it can defend its case the way it should be, is something that we should wait and see.
Arun, I remember in Geneva you said something very interesting. I think our viewers should know. I remember, if you could correct me and enlighten me more, you were talking something when you were speaking to the media about some revenge, that you should not go after revenge because you have suffered, like both your parents and when you were a kid.
Actually, it's a sort of common stories in our areas that the people who assassinated, the actual assassin, is supposed to be living in Batticaloa.
Yes.
Now, I never sort of wanted to have retribution, and I think the whole international community should realize that revenge and retribution is not an answer. You see, my concern is this: there are 10,000 former tigers who have been rehabilitated, and Sri Lanka has, by and large, carried out a humanitarian war, in my view. Okay, if there were excesses, let's investigate it.
I mean, can a war be humanitarian? I'm just asking you.
No, the war can be because, look, LTTE took the Tamil population as human shield and hostages.
Yeah.
Elected government of Sri Lanka had the responsibility to rescue the Tamil people. The question is whether a war can be humanitarian. Well, if the cause is right, I believe that the war is justified. LTT would have never come to a negotiation table. LTT is decided to carry on with the war. We know what happened in the past. So I think Sri Lanka should not be afraid, but Sri Lanka should defend its case. There are so many areas.
Will your uncle, Mr. Sambandhan, leader of opposition, join hands, and Sri Lanka would stand together in this? But I know people, there are so many victims, they will all want answers. Well, I'm saying this country is full of widows and full of orphans. I mean, all sides, all communities.
Yeah.
But will they join together?
Well, this is the question.
As Sri Lankans?
This is the question. I think they should. I believe that if Sri Lanka's economy suffers, it doesn't affect one community, it affects the whole community. Likewise, I believe that the TNA should come forward and work together in defending Sri Lanka's case. I think the current approach by the government is commendable, but again, as I said, it's premature for me to say more, because I do believe that we have question marks over how Sri Lanka will approach this international pressure.
Is the diaspora behaving well these days?
It's behaving better than what it used to, but then again, you see, is it a temporary motion or is it going to be long-lasting? It's a question.
Why did they misbehave then?
Well, they misbehave, as I said, the point is again, revenge. They wanted to take revenge on the defeat of the LTTE, and they felt that the previous government should be defeated. So let's not make two bones about it. They were after blood, and likewise the international community. So look, now the international community and the Tamil diaspora have what they desired. They have changed. So it's about time they give a real peace, a real long-lasting peace for the Tamil, Sinhalese and Muslim people a chance. Now, my concern, however, is that unless there's a change of attitude on the part of Tamil nationalists, especially the TNA,
but there you have extremists on both sides.
Of course, that is well understood. But speaking from a Tamil perspective, I really hope that the TNA understands their historic responsibility.
But should we ban hate speech?
Why not? Singapore has. Now, you see, the problem with freedom of speech is that freedom of speech has limits. Now, if you use your freedom and if you inspire people,
or instigate, you can inspire and as well instigate.
Now, my point is, inspire is something we should welcome. But if you instigate people, then it's something.
But this is done by the politicians, really, not by the media or not by the ordinary people. It's done by the politicians.
Well, this is why I have always said that we should have a better class of politicians representing us in the parliament.
Don't you think, Stephen, it's a dream to have a better class of politicians?
It is, especially in the country. It's one of the dreams that everyone has.
We all should keep on dreaming and hoping, but I think dreams can become reality only if we keep on hoping.
But we masses are dreaming on and on and on, but we don't see them anywhere.
Look who is voting. It's the masses who are voting these.
No, don't. You know, the politicians are blaming the masses. Masses are not asses. They think we are asses, but we are not. But I mean, they are misled. This is the thing. So we need to. That's what we are trying to do. We are trying to educate them as much as possible.
Well, you all have responsibility as in the media field. Politicians, we have a responsibility to win over the masses and move them towards more.
Yeah, you say you know the masses, but the masses don't know you all. This is where the problem is.
It's up to you, the media, to highlight politicians of all different nature. I strongly believe that, Bandula.
Now, what is your message for real national reconciliation, Arun?
Well, my message is, look, Sri Lanka's constitution is very strong, very safe. I believe that all communities should come forward, and I strongly believe that we should defend our case, whether it's in the UN or in any international fora. And I strongly believe that all communities now should take this historic opportunity to forge a better future. No point in keep blaming. Look, it is important people realize that Sri Lanka took the right decision to defeat the LTTE militarily. So to make no apologies for defeating the LTTE, the Tamil people were saved. If there were excesses, let us look into it. But Sri Lanka's domestic mechanism, I believe our judges, our lawyers, our prosecutors are well able to deal with that. And that is my message.
Thank you, Arun.
Thank you very much. Thank you for that in-depth discussion on current political affairs. And tomorrow we'll be coming to your home with another guest, who is Bernard Gunathilka, the former Foreign Secretary and former Secretary to Washington and China.
Former Ambassador to Washington.
That's right. Yeah. It's former Ambassador to Washington and China on the same platform. And until we meet again tomorrow, have a good day.